Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking to you about a few different types of peeking in Valorant. So there's actually quite a few. I'm only going to be mentioning the most important ones, because there's some that I've heard like before, but I actually don't really know what they mean. Like, I think some have overlapping meanings, but I'm going to be teaching you the ones that I know and the main ones I use. So primarily, we're going to be talking about jiggle peeking, wide swinging, or just like, I guess this is also called Ferrari peeking. So jiggle peeking, jump peeking, a slight variation of the jump peek, and then also shoulder peeking. So first we could talk about jiggle peeking. Jiggle peeking is one of the most effective movement methods in the game, and this is what it looks like. So one thing about all of these methods of peeking, whenever you peek something, you want to be farther away from the wall. So whenever I peek like this, I'm actually at a disadvantage. You want to be back like this, and this is how you want to peek. So jiggling is simply, as it sounds, jiggling out like this, just so you can see a sliver of where you want to, and how wide or how narrow you jiggle. So for example, like this or like this is up to you. So like the purpose of this is going to be a few things, primarily to get information, but also if you want to combine a jiggle peek with a one tap like this. This is really good for clearing angles that people like commonly play. So if we're over here in tiles, we know that people peek here a lot, so what we can do is just kind of jiggle and then one tap this angle, because we know people are going to peek from here quite often. So if you can hit a shot like this, it's really satisfying, really, low effort really. You just have to know, if you have the muscle memory, then it's low effort. So basically, jiggle peeking, again, farther away from the wall. Don't expose yourself too much. Like, you can go a little bit wider, but not too wide, and the narrower probably the better, because it's going to be really hard for them to react to you or know what to do, especially in lower ranks. So next, this is going to bring me to the next type of swinging, next type of peeking, which is shoulder peeking. So shoulder peeking is, it's like a narrower, shorter version of jiggle peeking. So we can actually be closer to the wall for this one. We basically don't want to expose, we only want to expose our shoulder. That's why it's called shoulder peeking. So kind of going like this. The purpose of doing this is going to be to bait shots and get information, and like bait guns like operator, right? Because if you bait an op shot, then if you don't know if there's an op and you do this, you're probably not gonna die, because they're gonna assume that you're gonna keep moving, but actually you're just doing this on purpose. So this is probably what it looked like. You just barely want to peek out, but not even that far at all. So like I'm assuming there's an opera up here somewhere. And don't do this too much, because if you do against a good opera, they will actually shoot you in the shoulder. So you just, like, the first time you're probably gonna catch them, because they're not gonna expect this. But another way that we can bait the op shot is simply with a little U jump. So kind of jump in the U shape like this, and this will almost always bait the op shot, because it seems like you're coming out, but really you're just your whole intent is to just bait the op shot. So just like this, and to them they kind of just see you for a second here, and then you're just back in cover. So they'll try to shoot you, assuming they're gonna continue walking or running, whatever. But actually, you're just gonna bait the shot. So yeah, shoulder peeking, useful. I don't use it too much. I find that jiggle peeking is pretty useful. Either shoulder peeking or this jump technique can work very well. So yeah, just kind of figure what is most comfortable to you. And yeah, so lastly, we're gonna have wide swinging, which is basically just, as it sounds, swinging wide with the intent to kill people. So this is good for like 1v1 fights or 1v1 scenarios. You shouldn't be scared in a 1v1. You obviously don't want to be making like crazy amounts of noise or anything, but you don't need to be jiggle peeking forever in a 1v1. And so if you know where someone is, say you jiggle and you figure out where they are, you could simply just swing like this. Or if you know that they're top cat like this, instead of jiggling, we can just swing, take the fight, right? So now let's talk about when to use these different types of peeks. So obviously wide swinging, we don't really want to use, the main time we don't want to use wide swinging is whenever we have a chance to peek into like multiple people. So for example, if it's like a 3v4 or something, and you hear multiple people cat, you don't really want to just swing out like this on the 3 people that are running up cat, because the odds of you killing all of them before they react and shoot you is very low. Instead, we could try to like jiggle and catch one of them, you know, or you can, so you can obviously wide swing if you're on Reyna because you can just dismiss, but I'm talking about sort of in general. In general, you only want to wide swing for 1v1s basically, and I think that makes sense because, yeah. So when do we want to use Jiggle Peeking? So Jiggle Peeking is really good for getting information. You guys have seen me clear this before. So jiggling like this here, if I'm expecting them to be here, I want to jiggle it. I don't want to just wide swing all this. The problem with wide swing all this is you see all the angles that I'm actually opening myself up to. So instead, we want to clear each one of these individually with the Jiggle Peek. So usually jiggle like once or twice, and then if you don't see anyone, continue jiggling. This is also called slicing the pie. So this can really help you effectively clear out like areas. It's kind of like this. Again, this is really good for getting information. If you know that they're opping like here or here, again, we can do the jump peek, and this is gonna bait the shot quite easily. And if you don't know if they're opping here, you can do that. And if they shoot, obviously, you know that they're here, and you probably are gonna want to leave now after you get that information. This is why this is very valuable as a jump peek technique. So yeah, this is when you would want to jiggle. Jiggling is very good. If you just want to get information, you can even do this with your knife out. I would suggest just having your gun out, because if you can get good at jiggling, and then also this ties into counter strafing. So if you know how to counter strafe, you can just stop, and then your shot's completely accurate for just a second, and then you can quickly move back, right? This is what you see a lot of high-ranked players do. So yeah, again, if you have the knife out, you do move a little bit quicker, but it's not really worth it in my opinion. The benefit of having the gun out is far outweighs the slight speed boost you get with the knife. So otherwise, guys, hopefully this is useful. If you guys have any questions or want me to make other movement guides, let me know. But otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. Remember to like, comment, and please join my Discord and subscribe.